We have learned how to find the area of rectangles and squares. We know that the area is length times width equals area. Today, we're going to use what we know to find the area of irregular shapes. Mr. Fox loves to golf, and he wants to cover his miniature golf course hole with artificial grass. That means fake grass. So, how many 1-foot squares of carpet will Mr. Fox need to cover the miniature golf hole? First, let's count up the sides. This side is 8 feet long. This side is 8 feet long. And the bottom is going to be 8 feet long. Here's where it's shaped a little bit differently. You've got 3 feet up here. You've got 3 feet over here, which means if this side is 3 feet and this side is 3 feet, and it's equal to that 8, what left over is you have 2 feet over here. And then each of these sides are 4 feet long. The question is, count how many square feet can cover this golf course. Now, I could count the shapes, the squares, to find out how many square feet would cover it, but it's not really a good idea because it is going to take a lot of time to count the squares. And if this was a real miniature golf course hole, it probably wouldn't have squares on it. So we need to figure out a different way. What you can do is you can divide this golf course hole into different rectangles. I'm going to draw a line here and here. And now I have 3 different rectangles. Then I need to find the area of each rectangle and add it up. This first rectangle here, I see that the length is 4 feet, because if this side is 4 feet, then the other side's going to be 4 feet. So the length is 4 feet times the width, which is 3 feet. And I see that this one is the exact same way. This is 4 feet long, so this side's going to be 4 feet. And if this side's 3 feet, then this side's going to be 3 feet. So the length would be 4 times the width, which would be 3. And if I wanted to find the area of that, I could just multiply 4 times 3. Area would equal 12 square feet. And since that's the exact same problem, area would equal 12 square feet. Now I look at my big rectangle. I see that this is 8 feet across, so this whole line right here would be 8 feet across. And if this side is 4, it's distributed. That 8, 4 went over here, so whatever's left over would go over here, and that just happens to be 4. So the length would be 4 times the width, which would be 8. So 4 times 8 equals 32 square feet. Now what I need to do is I need to add up all 3 areas. So the first rectangle was 12 feet, the second rectangle was 12 feet, and then the last one was 32. And I'm going to add that up. 2, 4, 6, so that would be 6. 1 and 1 is 2, plus 3 is 5. So the total area of this miniature golf course hole is 56 square feet. Which means he's going to need 56 square feet to cover up his golf course with artificial grass. Let's look at this shape here. This side would be 9 feet long. This side is 10 feet. This is 2 feet. I can count and see that this is 4 feet. And then I'm not sure what this side would be, but if this is 2 feet and it's equal to 9, 9 is distributed 2, so the other one would be 7 feet. And then across, I know that the bottom is 10 feet, and this is 4 feet, so I've distributed my 10 4, so I need to put 6 feet up here. If I wanted to figure out the area of each this irregular shape, what I would do is I would turn it into 2 rectangles. So now I have rectangle A and I have rectangle B. Let's find the area of each rectangle and then figure out the total area. Rectangle A, the length is 9 times the width, which is 6. 9 times 6 is 54, and it'd be square feet. Rectangle B. The bottom says 10, but I know that it's been cut off. Up here it says 4 feet, which means the bottom is going to equal 4 feet too. So the width is 4 feet, and the length is 2 feet. So it would be 2 times 4 equals 8 square feet. Now what we need to do is we need to add the areas together. So we have 54 plus 8. 4 plus 8 is 12, and I carry my 1, 62. So the total area of these rectangles, or this one irregular shape, would be 62 square feet. Sometimes when you're given an irregular shape, that's not a normal shape we're used to, you can divide it up into smaller rectangles and then add the areas together. Let's try that today.